All right, a new update came out today. We'll go over some of the changes and then more detail will be in later videos. The first big change, the user interface has changed again. There was a lot of feedback from the player community. A lot of folks didn't like the new lines, they were hard to see in certain conditions, impossible to see in some actually. And so we now have a new user interface that you can customize. The first thing that you should know is in order to customize it, you have to be in some sort of play mode. You can't just go to the settings button. It's not in there. So you have to probably go into practice mode and uh, and hit play, and then you've got to hit these three lines at the top right, and then a gear icon will appear in the top left, and you can click on that, and here are your new uh, UI settings. So you have the ability to, let's see, under scaling, you can hit custom scale, and you can shrink all the user interface graphics, either smaller, really tiny, or normal size. And you can also move them in from the left or the right. You can move those in or out. So that's kind of cool. And then the big thing, the reach back, you now have the choice of slim or thick white or black lines. You can also do one with an outline. If you preferred the old, we just call them Wi-Fi bands. If you prefer those, you want the thick black, obviously, and the transparency needs to be about as shown, which I think is probably about 75%. I really wish they had a digital reference readout on here so I could be more precise. But that slider bar at that position seems to bring back the old Wi-Fi bands, and they seem huge now. It's going to take some getting used to again. Honestly, I wish they hadn't messed with it, or at least made it like a customized to begin with. But you live and you learn. So, all right, the other things they changed, they fixed the OB finally, um, and the crowd goes wild. So if you don't know, for the longest time, if the center of your disc crossed the OB, then the game called you OB, and now it plays just like regular in real life rules. So if any part of your disc touches inbounds, then you're inbounds, you're safe. Um, so hallelujah to that. They also now in multiplayer, you get at least 5 seconds, it says, to change your bag. So down in the bottom left, you'll see here, you can see your starter bag. You can click on that and change to your other bags. But a couple things I would mention. One is 5 seconds isn't a whole lot of time. And the second thing is they only show you the whole numbers. The graphics don't necessarily line, and there's only three of those. But you have to have memorized or have a really handy reference sheet, I guess. Memorize which holes you might need, for instance, a water skip disc on, and be very quick on your feet there. I wish they would just show little thumbnails for all nine holes. That would help a little bit. Um, but of course, also there's an issue with the other bags. The second and third bag that you can develop is you can only have a disc in one bag at a time. So for them to be really functional, you need to have, for instance, at least two, if not three, glide skip rives. I had those at one point, but I sold them. I sold all my duplicate discs because they were taking up RAM, and that was causing my game to crash. So unless you have duplicate disk, you really can't build out bags probably that you can play with fully. So that's an issue. So anyway, moving on. They did add some different molds to the reward pool. Um, they bought the daily watch ad for coins thing back, and now there's 4 a day. But there is some changes. You used to be able to watch one ad and get 200 coins. Now you can watch one ad and you get 100 coins, but you can watch another ad and get 300 coins. And the patch notes said that there, out of the 4, one would be for a disc. But on day 1, I had one that was for coins, uh, two that were for coins, and two that were for experience point boost, 1.5 XP boost. So I didn't get an option for a disc, so I've asked that question and waiting on feedback for that. So they also said that now if you're in multiplayer and you start to experience a connection issue where you're probably going to get retired involuntarily, that it's going to try to kick you out of the round quicker, so you don't keep playing and wasting time. You get to the end of the round and you find out that it wasn't recording your scores, and you get a R and no elo. I didn't experience that yet, but that's what they said they've added. So, and then the last thing, they also added some more tree colliders to a dozen holes. And I really wish they had provided more details than just saying that, or given, they did give the hole numbers, but no clue as to where these tree colliders were added. So now I got to go and play a dozen holes extensively, probably, in order to try to figure out where the new tree collision is before I play a whole lot more of multiplayer or the league or anything that really counts. So I will try to do that today if possible, and post another video showing what impact this may or may not have had on some normal play lines. All right, that's it. Go update your game, and hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you around the valley.